Hello, everybody, and welcome to Quicken Loans Arena, a special edition of More Sports and Les Levine. I'm Dave Bacon, filling in for Les Levine, and the Mid-American Conference Tournament underway in downtown Cleveland. But some really big news with our Cleveland Browns, as it is official. It did happen. The Browns acquire Odell Beckham Jr., and not only that, but it's tied to the acquisition of Olivier Vernon. So it's Odell Beckham Jr. and Olivier Vernon to the Browns. Kevin Zeitzler, Jabril Peppers, the 17th pick overall and the 95th pick overall to the Giants. And wow, is all you can say about that. The Browns going for it without question. Time to welcome in Jake Burns from the Orange and Brown Report. Jake, we talked about it a little bit last night. We heard the rumblings. It's official. What does this do to the Cleveland Browns?
Yeah, it's ironic, Dave. We talked about that last night, and 20 minutes later, it seems like it happened. But yeah, it's big implications for the Browns and the Browns offense. You know, you're looking at a guy who can do everything with the wide receiver position, can certainly come in and fill that role as the number one alpha dog that you were looking for in that wide receiver. So, you find guys that can niche things as wide receivers. They can do maybe the deep route concept stuff. They're really good at taking the top off. Maybe a guy who's a slot guy can handle the interior underneath stuff. But this is a guy that can handle every facet of the wide receiver position. Quick feet, able to go stack, long arm, all those things that you want a fantastic wide receiver to do. He is the guy that is a package at the position for Browns, and they have, like I said, an outlet skill position that they can help take this offense.
Jake Burns from the Orange and Brown Report. We appreciate the time and the insight as the Browns remake themselves with a couple of free agent signings, chief among them Sheldon Richardson, defensive tackle. Then they also get the edge rusher in Olivier Vernon and also an outstanding wide receiver, one of the best in the NFL, in Odell Beckham Jr. Well, how important is the acquisitions that the Browns have made? Well, they went from 10-1 before the acquisition of Odell Beckham Jr. to win the AFC Championship to 7-1 after it. Only the Chiefs and Patriots, according to Vegas, have a better chance of winning the AFC than the Browns. And remember, the Browns still have some capital in the draft that they can add to. We'll take it a step further. Let's take a look at the Super Bowl. Before the Odell Beckham Jr. Trade was made, the Browns were considered to be 30-1 shots to win the Super Bowl. After it, 14-1. That gives you an idea. Vegas usually right on this. There are lots of millions of dollars, in fact, on the line as far as that goes. So the Browns, legitimate contenders. John Dorsey was playing a little bit of poker. As he said, the Browns weren't going to go for it. When you go out and you sign Sheldon Richardson, you trade for Odell Beckham Jr., you trade for Olivier Vernon, you're going for it. And, Cleveland's going to be excited. It is going to be crazy as far as what the Browns have. Look at the offensive side of the ball. You have Baker Mayfield. You have Nick Chubb, possibly Kareem Hunt. NFL will suspend him at some point. Duke Johnson. You have David Njoku, little underlooked there. Then you have Jarvis Landry. You have Odell Beckham Jr. You have Antonio Callaway. Antonio Callaway is a guy that's going to benefit more than anybody because he's paired with two guys that know what it takes to be successful in the NFL in Odell Beckham Jr. and Jarvis Landry. You can be sure that was part of John Dorsey's thinking. Let's take a look at the draft picks that the Browns have. They still have plenty of picks. Second round, they have the 49th overall pick. Third round, the 80th pick. Fourth round, 119th pick. Fifth round, they have 155 and 189. Seventh round, 221. So the Browns still will have some infusion of young talent. Right now, they need it more as a depth type of thing, guys that they can develop, than the guys they need to specifically step in and really take control and make a immediate impact. There are a couple of areas Browns still likely have to shore up a little bit with the linebackers. Offensive line could use a little bit of work as well. But again, we're really getting nitpicky here based on where this team was 2 years ago, 0-16. As far as what's going on in the AFC Central, the AFC North now. The Ravens did finally make a move. They lost all that talent on the defensive side of the ball. They went out and signed Earl Thomas, the guy the Browns were talking to. He gets 4 years, $55 million, does Earl Thomas, outstanding safety. will likely replace Eric Weddle for the Ravens. And they signed Mark Ingram, a big-time running back. Not in on the Le'Veon Bell thing. Bell goes to the Jets. Didn't get nearly the money he thought he would, though. 4 years, $52.5 million for Le'Veon Bell. The Raiders signed Terrell Williams. Browns weren't interested in him after they traded for Odell Beckham Jr. And the Chargers signed Tyrod Taylor, who was here at the Browns. Browns still need to kind of figure out what they're going to do behind Baker Mayfield at quarterback. Plenty of time to do that. And really, they do have Drew Stanton if they need to. But Tyrod Taylor headed to the San Diego Chargers. That'll do it from Quicken Loans Arena. Stick around. The 20th edition, 20th year, the 20th anniversary special edition of More Sports and Les Levine is coming up on cleveland.com. Stay with us.
Your basement is damp, dirty, and not somewhere you want to spend time. Let Nature Stone Flooring transform your basement into a true extension of your home. Nature Stone's proprietary hydrostatic ports allow water to simply evaporate, so no mold or mildew. Plus, it has a higher insulation rating than carpet and is warmer than linoleum, vinyl, wood, or tile.
Schedule your free in-home estimate easily online today and get up to 50% off.
Nature Stone is the affordable basement floor solution that beautifies your home. Nature Stone, the only concrete solution.
There are tastes we remember. Every smell brings the happiness of times gone by. Experience this every time you walk into Gallucci's Italian Foods. Whether you need lunch on the go, a catered party, or that perfect blend of wine, meats, and cheeses, Gallucci's has exactly what you're looking for. Straight from Mama's Kitchen for old world traditions or original experiences. From the tastes you remember to new flavors you'll never forget. Gallucci's is a tasty branch of your family tree.
When it comes to selling you a mattress, most retailers are handing you a long line of extra steps that drive up costs and create confusion. At the Original Mattress Factory, we simplify the mattress shopping experience by building mattresses and box springs in our own local factories and selling them direct to you. It's short, sweet, and simply makes sense. So experience more than just the mattress store. Experience an original, the Original Mattress Factory.
My name is Les Levine.
My name is Les Levine.
My name is Les Levine.
I, Les Levine, am the only man in Cleveland sports to have been the voice of 3 professional teams, all of which have folded. The top-rated sports talk host on a station that no longer exists. Cleveland Magazine's top sports talk host, an award that has since been discontinued. Now, Sports Channel is giving me my own TV show.
Go figure.
Worldwide headquarters of More Sports and Les Levine. It's a Thursday night. Good evening, everyone. Welcome once again to More Sports and Les Levine. Into our, well, we're there, 20th anniversary show, and as always, brought to you by McDonald's Restaurants of Northeast Ohio. Where did they dig that one up? Wow, I think I actually remember doing that back in the day. 216-575-0403 is the number to call. And Jim Ingram will be here. He got held up because of the rain delay. It was a monsoon for about 10 or 15 minutes. And so the game was put on hold. And he, of course, had to file his story and all, talk to Terry Francona. One of the strangest plays you're ever going to see. I don't know how 4 umpires totally missed it. I'm glad the Indians were the beneficiaries of a terrible call. But you also have to understand it could go the other way, especially in the playoffs. I just don't understand how a play can happen so obvious and 4 umpires missed it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, we'll talk about it a little bit later. 216-575-0403 is the number to call. You can email us during the show at les.levine@twcable.com. And let's take a look at the standings now, because the Indians won today by a score of 10-7 over the Houston Astros. And bring it on. Bring it on. Who's coming in here?
Who do you think?
Hey, my goodness, look at that. The Duker.
We've been out there
and
so
Avery.
long, we thought it was going to be like the 21st
Oh,
anniversary.
turn around and face the camera. This is television. The Duker, Larry Morrow, on the...
Happy anniversary.
Well, thank you very much. The Duker, who had a 55 share in the Wixie 1260, Avery Friedman, the great, what are you, the great what? CNN? What are you?
Actually, it's just great to be with you.
Did you see that opening from before? They dug it out from 20 years ago?
That was so cool.
Yeah, from Rick Manning, yes.
Congratulations.
What do you got here?
Congratulations.
You
want to blow them out?
already melted down here. We're really sorry about that, but
wow. All right, let's make a wish. I don't want to wish for another 20.
Well, here, read it.
No,
happy 20th, Les Levine. What does that say?
20 down.
20 down, 20 to go. You guys are the best. The Duker, Larry Morrow. Larry, can you sit down over there for a minute?
Sure.
Can we allow him to do that?
We can just sit for a second.
We'll put that away.
We have a dinner date in 3 minutes.
Yeah,
so
but dinner date.
Avery and I will share the chair.
All right, you guys share the chair.
Okay, we'll share the chair.
The Duker is a legend from Wixie 1260, starting what year?
66.
1966.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's your 20th.
It is my 20th.
And in a few days, I'm coming up on my 50th. And Russ Masetta won't let me forget it.
You know something? I've got some lists of TV shows that started in 1996.
Oh.
I beat Third Rock from the Sun. We beat. We were still around. All Dogs Go to Heaven. Arliss. Anyway, thank you for being so kind and showing up. Jim Ingram didn't show up, but you guys did.
Well, that's we're sort of standing until Jim gets here. I guess he's stuck.
Have you ever been on TV before?
This is a very exciting first time for me, pal.
Well, they're bringing in chairs. There you go.
But in the meantime,
how long have you been doing CNN
now? 16th year starting this year.
Is that right?
Yep, every Saturday, and I must tell you, we're thinking about you, Les, and no, you're not Cleveland's Aaron Andrews, I guess, but
well, no, nobody has ever put a camera on me for that purpose.
And we're grateful for
and
that.
We are all grateful for that.
But you are Cleveland's Bob Costas.
No,
yeah.
Okay,
now, I mean, you're not going to say that. You can't say that.
Yeah.
We can, and you want to know something? Your viewers feel that way. There is nothing like what you do for this town and how you enhance the quality of life by what you do.
Avery and I were talking about it on our way over that with all the sports people, and we've seen them unfold over the past 20, 30 years, no one does it like you do. No one cares as much about sports as you do. No one cares about the people that you talk to, and you do it right from the heart. And you know how I feel about that.
Well, let me tell you something. Coming from you is special.
Yeah.
Much appreciated. You want to know something? Hang on. I can do this. It's my show. I'm going to move some things around. I'm going to do Truth and Reason now, and we'll pick up. In fact, we're going to find out what Mike is thinking in the next segment.
Well, that's why we came down.
Okay.
I wanted to be in person to see what Mike is thinking.
Okay, you do that. Oh, because you don't know.
I don't know.
All right, let me do Voice of Truth and Reason and have you comment about it.
Okay.
I have to start it with, as you know, I'm the self-proclaimed voice of truth and reason in Cleveland sports. There isn't a week that goes by that somebody doesn't tell me that WHK Radio was the best sports talk in Cleveland history. I can tell you it was the best radio job I ever had. But in June of 1996, it ended when that station was sold, along with WMMS and WMJI. The VP of programming of a statewide television network was a fan of my radio show, and he asked me if I'd be interested in doing a radio show on television. It's pretty common now, but to the best of our knowledge, we invented it, and we went on the air with it September 8, 1996. 20 years later, we're still doing it. What I'm most proud of is that because of sales or mergers and other business things that I don't even pretend to understand, the show has undergone 5 different cable company ownerships. What that means is that 5 different cable companies came and looked at this show, and they decided it met their standards to continue being an anchor of the network. Such is the case with Time Warner Cable Sports Channel, which has not only continued to allow us to do this show, but have added other shows like Armchair Quarterbacks and more Sports and Les Levine postgame. We have also had some great producers over the years of this show, but Mike Bacon and Classic Teleproductions are every bit as good as anybody in the country, and they make it so easy to work with them. It's also obvious that a show like this can't survive without advertisers. Some like McDonald's and Sokolowski's, Tasty Pizza, Amazing Tickets, Original Mattress, and Ganley, VW, and Subaru have been with us almost from the beginning. And then great guests like Jim Ingram, who will be here a little bit later, Terry Pluto, Bud Shaw, Dennis Maniloff, and so many more. Most important, it's because of you, the viewers and subscribers of Time Warner Cable. And I wouldn't, and without you, I would be talking sports on some street corner somewhere. I don't know if I can make it another 20 years, but thanks to all of you who have made the first 20 very enjoyable. I ad-libbed that. I didn't read that.
Right. There was nothing in front of you at all.
No, but what I've noticed is you have to squint a little bit more as the years go by.
That's right.
To see it. All right, I'll blow these out. There you go.
There we go.
There
we go.
All right, studio audience here. Larry the Duker Morrow, one of the greats in radio history in this town, and Avery Friedman, who we've gotten to know in recent years, and glad that we've done that.
It's been a thrill for both of us, pal.
All right.
We celebrated and you came to surprise Avery on his 40th birthday.
Yeah, right. That's right. 40 years of going to Corky and Lenny's.
Exactly. 216-575-0403 is the number to call. The Indians are winner today, 10-7 over Houston. A strange call. The Indians got the benefit of that, but it still shouldn't have happened. But they took advantage of it and won. We'll talk more about that when we get back. We'll also find out what Mike is thinking. We're brought to you by McDonald's Restaurants of Northeast Ohio, and I'm loving it.
Love this music.
Thank you, boys, so much. That is so nice.
Wasn't this fun? Well, we got to thank Mike.
Raise your hand if you think the best place to get a Coke is McDonald's. Raise your hand if you think $1 is a pretty good price to pay for a little happiness. Raise your hand if you just want some hand to hand you a Coke, maybe with some fries and a Big Mac. Raise your hand if your name is Nick. Oh, hey, Nick. Raise your hand if you left your briefcase on top of your car. You, my friend, could use a sip of that fizzy Coke glory right about now. McDonald's, Coke. Always convenient, always $1, every size.
Get a slam dunk deal at Ganley Subaru of Bedford, proud partner of the world champion Cleveland Cavaliers. Lease the new 2016 Subaru Legacy 2.5i with the most spacious interior in its class, automatic with Bluetooth and backup camera. Now only $159 a month. $159 a month. Get a slam dunk deal. And remember, if anyone can, Ganley Subaru of Bedford can on the Bedford Auto Mile.
There are tastes we remember. Every smell brings the happiness of times gone by. Experience this every time you walk into Gallucci's Italian Foods. Whether you need lunch on the go, a catered party, or that perfect blend of wine, meats, and cheeses, Gallucci's has exactly what you're looking for. Straight from Mama's Kitchen for old world traditions or original experiences. From the tastes you remember to new flavors you'll never forget. Gallucci's is a tasty branch of your family tree.
Let's check out MS&LL headlines brought to you by Northfield Park, your home for live and simulcast racing. Bad call goes the Indians' way. They beat Houston 10-7. The Mets signed Tim Tebow to a minor league deal, and the Cavs' opening night tickets will go on sale separate from the other single games, and there's only one reason that'll happen is because they can, pretty much. 216-575-0403 is the number to call. Avery Friedman is here. Larry Morrow is here. And Steve in Cleveland is here. Hello, Steve.
Hello, is Les Levine there?
Speaking.
I'm looking for Mr. Levine. Is this Les?
Yes, it is.
Who is it?
Who is this?
It's only fitting that I should follow a Gallucci's commercial. This is an old friend from.
This is Steve Liverani, who got this whole thing rolling 20 years ago, and I thank him every night. He doesn't know that, but I thank him every night. Say hi to Larry Morrow and Avery Friedman, Steve.
Hey, Steve.
Hello, gentlemen.
Hey. Hello, Steve.
How are you guys?
How are you?
Very well, thanks. You know, Les gives me way too much credit for him being on the air for 20 years. By the way, he was on the air for, 30 years before that. But What is the secret to longevity, Mr. Levine? That's what I want to know. That's my question.
Hair club for men.
You know what? And you know that I'm envious about that because you still have a full head of hair. And
I do. And you know what? 3 more payments, it's mine. I don't know. Did you hear my Truth and Reason before?
I did not.
Okay. I think you were the lead guy and who got this thing started. And we basically put a radio show on TV, and now it's pretty common. I don't think it was common back then, Steve.
I think it might have been, again, it might have been one of the first ones, if not the first. But I do remember getting some feedback from some of the higher ups down the dial, if you will, at the time. And I wasn't one of the favorites in that market from the TAM standpoint, or the KNR standpoint rather. But we went ahead with it anyway. And listen, 20 years later is just an amazing accomplishment, Les. And so many things have changed, including me and Melissa being down here in Charleston, and you guys are still doing it, and I'm just so proud of you.
And we won a championship, by the way. Did you hear about that? It was in all the papers.
Yeah, it did actually make it down here to the Low Country, and Melissa and I were loving every minute of it, even though, as you know, we missed it by only a year. We were there last year to watch the Warriors actually take the crown, but we are so thrilled for everybody in that town, so deserving, and 15 years in Cleveland, it's a big part of who we are, and it'll always be a big part of who we are.
All right, Steve, you know how I feel about you and Melissa, and you've been terrific to me throughout the years, and I can't thank you more than that.
Well, you do that, and like you say, you do it every day. But I tell you what, we are so proud of you, and your dear friends, Allison and Les, are dear friends of ours, and we just can't wait to see you again. So hopefully soon, and get back to work, and here's to another 20 years.
Well, thank you. And we haven't won a darn championship in like 2.5 months in this town. I'm thinking there's a jinx or something going on here.
City of Champions, you know what? When that karma thing is real, and when it turns, it's going to turn in a big way. So we've got the Indians and, God forbid, the Browns. So there's a lot of championships to be won in that town. So enjoy the ride, and we'll stay in touch.
All right, Steve, you are the best. Thank you so much.
Take care, guys.
Okay, Steve Liverani.
I take some credit for the Cavaliers' win. Come on, Cavs.
Sing it.
Gotta make it happen.
Don't stop now.
Oh, no.
How many times have you done that? How many times do you think you've done that?
Well, I wrote it, 40 years ago?
Right.
And then Avery and I performed it live at halftime.
Right.
Back in November. I don't know, 100. I don't.
100, 1,000.
Maybe 1,000. It was the joy of my life to write it and then have it last this long.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. And like me doing this 20 years, when I started this, I just wanted to get to the next week or the week after that. Did you have any idea that 40 years from now, or what year did you come up with that?
1980. Excuse me. 70. I went there in 73, 75, 76.
So 1975.
Yeah.
And you still got the 45.
Yeah. I did.
Literally.
I still have 145 left.
Is that right?
Yeah.
It sold. It went aluminum.
All Dogs Go to Heaven debuted in 1996.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing Animals, Arliss. I'm not sure why I'm going through this. 216-575-0403 is the number to call. Are we ready to go to Mike, find out what he's thinking? Oh, you're trying to find him. What, did you kidnap him?
Well, no, I was just with Mike a few hours ago. He's got to be around someplace.
Got to be around. Unbelievable. Let me go through a couple of emails here. We were talking about Albert Bell the other night. This is from John. Heard you talking about Albert. I didn't hear all the callers, but did anybody mention he took accounting courses at Cleveland State in the off-season? According to what I read on the internet, he eventually graduated with a degree in accounting from LSU in 2003.
Really?
And then he threw it at some kid on Halloween.
Actually, my grandfather had a CPA. He was cleaning, pressing, and alterations.
Alterations.
Right.
Very good. Very good. Shall we? Let's go to Mike. Hey, Mike, what are you thinking? Mike, are you there?
Hello, Les.
I'm thinking you should answer the phone when I talk to you.
I'm trying. I don't know what's going on tonight.
All right. Well, we're a little off schedule here.
Les, congratulations 20 years, unbelievable, and it's an honor to be talking to you, and just a tremendous thing for yourself and for the fans of Cleveland, and it's great to see the legal eagle, Mr. Friedman, and Mr. Cleveland sitting next to you to ring in this 20-year anniversary.
Well,
congratulations.
Thank you so much. I'm going to let a real announcer read this little reader here.
Oh. Are we ready?
Go.
Can I clear my throat first?
Do it. Whatever you do.
Let's see what Mike is thinking. It's brought to you by Authentic Nature Stone Flooring. Beautiful basements, garages, and more. And nobody says that any better. Other than Russ Macetta, maybe one other guy.
Right. That was pretty good. Take one. All right, Mike, the Indians got a break today. They were handed a couple of runs, turned it into a 4-run inning. And it was a game that Houston really needed as far as the wild card is concerned. But I know it went in Cleveland's favor. I just don't like it.
Well, I'll take it.
I know you take it, but you don't like to see, not that it's cheating, but they got away with one today.
Well, that stuff all goes back and forth throughout the course of 162 games. So, I'm sure you can make the case that there were some bloopers that shouldn't have fallen in somewhere, but they did, and you scored a few runs, and then you can make a case where there were some bloopers that should have fallen in and they didn't, and they got caught and they cost us games. So I'll take a win any way they come, and I'm sure Coach Francona would do the same thing.
They call them managers.
Manager, I'm sorry, the manager.
You got ripped pretty good by somebody on that.
I did. The diehard fan on Twitter let me know they're called managers. That's right.
All right, so things are looking great now. 6 games ahead of Detroit, and they do have 7 against each other coming down the stretch here. But it's going to be pretty hard for. This would be of classic proportions if they fall apart and don't make the playoffs.
Yeah, so they've got 7 in a row coming up here against Minnesota. And who's the other team?
Well, we can put that up actually here. We can take a look at who the Indians have in the down the stretch here, starting with the games in Minnesota and
Chicago.
And Chicago. Yeah, that's the road trip. It is Minnesota and Chicago. Although Chicago's got a couple of pretty good pitchers in Quintana and Sale, but I think things falling into place as far as the Indians are concerned.
Yeah, those are 2 road series that the Indians should win, and if they can go into that home stretch, they got 23 games left. If they can win a 5 out of 7 or even 4 out of 7 here, I would imagine that they're going to go down into the last 16 games with probably a 6 or 7 game lead. And Andy Baskin said something really interesting on 92.3 The Fan the other day. He said, if you think about it, when you're up 6 games, you're up basically a full week of baseball, and there's only 3.5 weeks left. So they would have to
the Indians have
blow it.
Mike. The Indians have 23 games left. If they go 12-11, Detroit has to go 19-4 just to tie them.
Yeah, and I don't see that happening.
No.
I don't think Detroit's got the team for that. And we're going to pick up some wins against Detroit, but you never know. And what I was really impressed to see, because I was at the game last night. And I actually went down to the stadium, which I got to tell you, phenomenal experience. They did a great job at Progressive Field. I haven't been there this year myself, but I took my family and just had a wonderful time. The food there is fantastic. But getting to see
I don't care about that. I want wins.
I understand, but when you're dropping that kind of coin to go to a baseball game, it's nice to have the amenities too. But the Cody Allen has gotten back to his fastball, and last night he was blowing those guys away. The pitch sequence that he had to Altuve to end the game got him on the high fastball after throwing the outside and low curveball that he laid off, and then come back with the high fastball, change the eye level, Altuve swing through it. And today I think he had 8 fastballs to 4 curveballs. It's a great ratio.
And here's the other thing about that. You've got Andrew Miller. Everybody said just put him in, make him the closer. Well, you can see Miller didn't have it last night, gives up a 2-run homer. And tonight, or this afternoon, just like last night, Allen had no trouble in the 9th.
Sure, and it's interesting. And, when you watch these guys and you hear about them playing for the Yankees, Andrew Miller was on the Yankees, you think the guy's invincible. And then all of a sudden he comes to your team and you're watching him every day. And so the mortality of the player ends up coming through, and he is mortal. He's a human being, and he's going to give up those home runs. He's going to give up those runs. We're just seeing it on a day in and day out basis. Whereas when he's not, all we're seeing are the highlights.
Well, you know
so
something.
now
Tom Hamilton said that today. I was at the game until it rained, and then came back to the studio. And what Hamilton was saying is because you see the team, you see the Indians day in and day out. You see the flaws. And yet other teams come in like the Miami Marlins and now Houston. They come in and they're glowing with the praise of the Indians. They're saying because they don't see them every day, and the Indians are probably better than we who see them every day actually are.
That's exactly right, and that is because we see the flaws, we see the losses, we see the home runs given up by a guy like Miller who's got a 1.60 ERA, and you think he's invincible, but he's truly not. And at the end of the day, they've got a great team. Their starting pitching is starting to come around back to where it was at the beginning of the year. Although Bauer had a little hiccup today, but I think he had a little bit of a beef with the plate umpire, and it may have gotten into his head today, which that can happen too because they are human. But the starting pitching's coming back to where it was. The bullpen, they have a group of guys that they can go to. If one's not pitching well, they could find somebody else. I love this Garner, this Percy Garner. I don't know that he's going to be on the roster in the playoffs, but wow, does he have electric stuff. Reminds me of when Fausto Carmona was Fausto Carmona, and
right.
He had that good downward action on the 94, 95 mile an hour sinker. That's what this kid looks like. Plus, he's got the slow breaking ball. So the farm system is there, and the hitting has really started to get there too, and they're getting into one of their hot streaks again. Nice to see Napoli get hot again and have a couple of home runs and get himself over 30.
All right, Mike, we got to bring in Jim Ingram. We got to throw these two guys out. But if you can get here in 20 minutes, we'll save you some cake.
Thanks, guys.
Hold on 1 second. We'll see if Larry Morrow can do this twice in a row.
Let's see what Mike is thinking is brought to you by Authentic Nature Stone Flooring. Beautiful basements, garages, and more.
Excellent.
There we go.
Excellent. All right, Mike, thanks so much. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks for letting us know what you're thinking. Perfect Ash Cigar Lounge located in Independence. They gave me 6 victory cigars. I think the Browns are going to win 6. I don't know about that, but I know if you're a cigar smoker, that's the place to go. 5 minutes off the Rockside 77 exit. Perfect Ash Cigars, it's game on at Perfect Ash Cigars. 216-575-0403, Northeast Factory Direct. 2 great locations. All they are big warehouses, which means you're going to save a lot of money on the same stuff you're going to get at the big box stores. West 140th in Cleveland, Curtis Boulevard in Eastlake, the place to go for Northeast Factory Direct. Our thanks to Mike for what he is thinking. To Larry Morrow, Avery Friedman, you guys are terrific. Thank you so much for coming by.
Great to be with you, pal. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
It's 20 years, an accolade of great distinction.
Absolutely.
Congratulations.
Thank you. You guys are the best. All right, we'll come back. Jim Ingram joins us. We're brought to you by McDonald's Restaurants of Northeast Ohio, and I'm loving it.
Hi, I'm Jim Jones.
And I'm Michael Regai. I know you never miss more.
I never miss.
Les
I
Levine.
swear, I never miss.
Nor do I. Never!
I'm Stephen Mayosic. This is my championship belt, and this is my championship floor. Nature Stone.
Installed over concrete, Nature Stone flooring is tough, durable, long-lasting, and beautiful.
Just like me.
Hurry, act now. Get Nature Stone and save up to 50%. That's up to 50% off authentic Nature Stone flooring.
Give it a shot. Put Nature Stone in your home.
Call or visit naturestone.com today and schedule your free in-home designer consultation.
There are tastes we remember. Every smell brings the happiness of times gone by. Experience this every time you walk into Gallucci's Italian Foods. Whether you need lunch on the go, a catered party, or that perfect blend of wine, meats, and cheeses, Gallucci's has exactly what you're looking for. Straight from Mama's Kitchen for old world traditions or original experiences. From the tastes you remember to new flavors you'll never forget, Gallucci's is a tasty branch of your family tree.
Get a slam dunk deal at Ganley Subaru of Bedford, proud partner of the world champion Cleveland Cavaliers. He's the new 2016 Subaru Legacy 2.5i with the most spacious interior in its class, automatic with Bluetooth and backup camera. Now only $159 a month. $159 a month. Get a slam dunk deal. And remember, if anyone can, Ganley Subaru of Bedford can on the Bedford Auto Mile.
Selling mattresses the traditional way isn't the best way. Most are made in a large factory and shipped hundreds of miles to a retailer's warehouse, where the retailer then marks them up and up before finally selling and delivering them. At the Original Mattress Factory, we take a straightforward approach. We have eliminated the extra steps and created a direct line from our factory to you, saving you hundreds of dollars. So experience more than just a mattress store. Experience an original, the Original Mattress Factory.
Time for a How Come Quickie. How come Jim Ingram is here? That's not the How Come Quickie, but Jim, maybe you can join in on this. How come it's quite a coincidence that Mount Rushmore has faces of 4 men and they all wound up being presidents of the United States? Do you find that astounding?
What are the odds? That sculptor should be taken to Vegas.
I would have thought maybe 3 out of 4 they would have gotten.
Yeah,
it would have happened.
That's like a home run.
It sure is.
By the way,
yes.
Formal congratulations.
Thank you very much. And I'm glad you're part of it. You are very special to the show.
Well, thank you. I remember as a child watching the show on my parents' old black and white set, and I said, if I could ever get on that show one day.
That would be it. Very excellent. That'll make the highlights for the next 20. I just want to go on record. I ain't doing this 20 more years. I'm just telling you. Okay, Jim Ingram, explain to me what happened. What inning was it? The Chisenhall thing? 5th, 6th?
Oh, we should probably get the umpires in here.
They still don't know what happened. Sorry. Basically, here's what happened. I was sitting in the second row, looking out the right field line. So you got the bases loaded, and it looked to me, it's a 1 and 2 count. It looked to me like Chisenhall fouled. It was a low pitch, almost in the dirt. Yeah. So I didn't have replay, so I didn't know. Looked like he checked his swing and fouled the ball off, and the ball went to the third base side, toward the dugout. Right. Okay. The catcher's just standing there not doing anything, which probably wasn't a good idea on his part.
Right.
But 2 runs scored, and they were running around the bases while the catcher's arguing with the umpire. Yeah. So how do the ruling was wild pitch, right?
Right.
Okay, now take it from there.
Well, the umpires said, and we sent a poll reporter down to talk to Jim Joyce was the home plate umpire. He said he didn't see the ball hit the bat. They had a meeting with all the umpires, and he asked each one of them individually, did you see the ball hit the bat? They all said no, believe it or not. A.J. Hinch said that those were the only 4 people in the whole stadium that didn't realize that.
No, I was 50 feet away, and I thought it was a foul ball.
To me, just the angle that the ball took,
of course,
it hit something, and it had to be a bat to go that far in that direction. So, and the Indians did the right thing. They just kept running.
Right. In fact, my question is, and this is when I wish sometimes Hal, who was an important part of this show for so many years, I wish he was around to explain. As long as they're going to give you they're going to say it's a wild pitch, why would they stop the third guy from coming home?
Joyce said that that's what they went to the replay for. The replay.
See where he was?
They could not use it to decide whether he hit the ball with his bat or not, but they could use it to see which runs should be allowed. And in his opinion, the 2 guys scored while it was a live ball. Then he called time, and Ramirez had to go back to second at that point.
When the 2 runs were allowed. Okay. Yeah. Ray in Euclid emailed before the show. He says, Les, I think I understand why some plays in baseball are not reviewed by video, but what happened today, none of the umpires seeing the ball was fouled off should have been reviewed. Either the rule needs to be changed or umpires should have some discretion.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, this is one of those rare instances where you're actually using the replay to sort out an incident that shouldn't have been allowed anyway, based on something on the same replay that you could have ruled on, but you're not allowed to rule on.
So they ruled on the guy going back to second. They must have seen what precipitated the whole thing. They must have seen that there was a foul ball.
They didn't see anything because they just go and listen.
Oh, they're going by what New York is telling them.
But Jim Joyce said, I am going to go home and look at the replay tonight.
Yeah, and while you're at it, give Galarraga that perfect game too.
Yeah, that's right. Which was also against the Indians.
Yes.
So, So he's a really good umpire, and Tito Francona went out of his way after the game to say he tries hard. He's a great guy. Everybody loves him, and I think that was his way.
Well, not only did 4 umpires not see it, you would think they would have heard it also.
Yeah. Well, Lindor did say he heard something.
When it's a foul ball is what he heard. And by the way, if the pitch was in the dirt and Chisenhall swung and hit it, it would have been in play. Foul ball maybe, but it can hit the dirt and you can hit the ball.
Yeah. But can you imagine if that would have happened? Well, it ended up being a 3-run game. You know, that could have changed.
Sure.
But if that had happened in a postseason game, I'd say that rule would have been changed before the end of the game.
before the 7th inning stretch.
Yeah.
216-575-0403 is the number to call. We're back on track thanks to Larry Morrow and Avery Friedman. Let's, before we take a break, let's go to Mike. Mike is in Cleveland. Hello, Mike.
Great show, Les.
Michael Regai, first guest. Now, you're the answer to a trivia question all the time on this show. First guest in 1996, Michael Regai. Did you happen to see, we had a promo of you. You were a little bit, you were about 20 years younger.
Wasn't I that much younger? Yeah, I did not see it, but I certainly wanted to chime in and let you know it's been a great show every day, as you will say, between September 8th of 1996 and now. You're still going strong, my man. That's a great testament to you, your longevity and your vitality, too. Keep it rolling.
No, Jim Ingram with us tonight, Michael.
Hi, Jimmy. How are you, buddy?
Hi, Mike. How are you?
I just want to, let me just send this message back to my producer, Mike Bacon. You know, he says, Steve from Cleveland is on. That's Steve Liverani. Michael from Cleveland. Like, I don't know what's coming.
Yeah, well, I guess then Mike Bacon's going to have to be a little bit more deceptive with you than what he's laid out today.
Michael, the first night you were on the show, you of course knew 20 years later we'd be talking about it.
Absolutely. Without question. Remember we talked about that when we were for Steve Liverani over at Fox Sports Ohio doing Browns Table together?
Yeah.
Remember us talking? Hey, Les, you know, in another about 14 years, we'll be talking about you having your 20th year anniversary on More Sports and Les Levine.
Well, I've been reading some of the shows that debuted in 1996 that aren't quite round. Good Company was one of them, The Forensic Files, and more important, Homeboys in Outer Space.
They've got nothing on you, man.
I don't know.
Nothing.
I don't know how many people got fired over those shows.
And here you are still standing.
Hey, Michael, I appreciate you're one of the class guys, one of the real professionals in this town. Glad to call you a friend, and I appreciate the call tonight.
Everything right back at you, and tenfold, you're a consummate pros pro, and I echo that. Glad to call you a friend. The same thing for Jim Ingram there. Best scribe in town.
All right, Michael.
Thank you, Mike.
We'll get you on this show soon. We'll have my people get to your people.
Yeah, do it that way. It's the best way to go.
You got it.
All
Thank
the
you,
best,
Michael.
buddy. Take care.
Great
Bye-bye.
to talk to you, Michael Regai. Coming up on Saturday, Ohio State postgame. I'll be handling it with Dave Bacon this week. Anthony Lima is on assignment after every Ohio State game. Actually, we're going to come on at about 8:30 tonight after the crew. That night after the crew game, and we'll have the Urban Meyer press conference. We'll talk to you. We'll have highlights and all kinds of stuff every Saturday following the game, right here on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel. Let's take a break. In a moment, I want to tell you about Northfield Park, and you can visit them for live harness racing Monday through Wednesday and Saturday evening from 6 p.m. is post time. Doors open early every day for simulcast action from the top thoroughbred and harness tracks from all over the world. Free admission, free parking every day at Northfield Park. We'll come back in a moment with Jim Ingram. We're brought to you by McDonald's Restaurants of Northeast Ohio, and I'm loving it.
How about when I'm waiting for the Thistledown race results, I unfortunately have to watch Les Levine.
Thank you, Joe. I'm Stipe Miocic, world heavyweight champion for Nature Stone, and Cleveland's first hometown champ. Fighting can be brutal. So can mold, mildew, or flooding on your basement carpet or tile. Get Nature Stone and never replace your basement flooring again.
Hurry, act now. Get Nature Stone and save up to 50%. That's up to 50% off authentic Nature Stone flooring.
Nature Stone, like me, simply the best.
Act now. Call or visit naturestone.com today.
There are tastes we remember. Every smell brings the happiness of times gone by. Experience this every time you walk into Gallucci's Italian Foods. Whether you need lunch on the go, a catered party, or that perfect blend of wine, meats, and cheeses, Gallucci's has exactly what you're looking for. Straight from Mama's Kitchen for old world traditions or original experiences. From the tastes you remember to new flavors you'll never forget, Gallucci's is a tasty branch of your family tree.
When it comes to selling you a mattress, most retailers are handing you a line, a long line of extra steps that drive up costs and create confusion. At the Original Mattress Factory, we simplify the mattress shopping experience by building mattresses and box springs in our own local factories and selling them direct to you. It's short, sweet, and simply makes sense. So experience more than just the mattress store. Experience an original, the Original Mattress Factory.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting more than just a technician. You're getting someone who pays attention to your needs and the little things that make a big difference. It takes a dealer you can rely on. And to keep your family cool this summer,
let me show you how this works.
It takes Bryant.
Bryant, whatever it takes.
And to keep your family comfortable, it takes Smiley One Heating and Cooling. Find them at 440-449-HEAT.
This State of Sports History brought to you by Smiley One Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. September 8th, 1998, Mark McGwire hits his 62nd home run, surpassing the mark set by Roger Maris in 1961. He wound up with 70 that year. You know, the Roger Maris, Babe Ruth, everybody knows it. I actually had to look up and say, how many did McGwire have? The numbers are meaningless. How many did McGwire have that year?
Same thing with Bonds, too.
Yeah.
You don't know. For years, the home run records were stamped in your brain.
Exactly.
And now you can never
755 is, to me, the Hank Aaron one. Right now, you can purchase a Bryant high-efficiency air conditioning system, 0% APR for 36 months. That is at Smiley One. Iceman Lenny. Congratulations on 20 years. As a gift to viewers, don't take calls from Solon or North Olmsted today. That could be anybody. I'm guessing he's talking about Chuck and Rich. I'm just guessing. Rick and Willoughby, hi Les, happy 20th. I've enjoyed watching your show from the beginning. If you don't believe me, ask my wife and kids. They know between 6 and 7 I own the TV. Tim and Norton. Les, you know I love your show and appreciate you being on TV talking about the teams we love, but I miss the era of great local personalities like Larry Morrow. The 60s and the 70s were great decades for radio. Finally, Ben in Gates Mills says, some rookies you outlasted from 96, Kobe Bryant, Ray Lewis, and Derek Jeter. One thing that debuted in 96 that and you haven't outlasted was the World Series on Fox and a 27-year-old network rookie announcer, and welcome us to the broadcast booth by the name of Joe Buck. One bad thing from 96 that, thank goodness, didn't last very long on TV was Cavs TV announcer. Do you know who that was in 1996? Cavaliers TV announcer.
1996.
Jim Gray.
Jim, really?
Yes.
I don't recall that.
Yeah.
Just that 1 year?
Yeah, and he was horrible, and as you would well imagine. And Gordon Gunn,
he took his talents elsewhere?
He did. Well, he was asked to take his talents elsewhere. Gordon Gunn, they did a feature on Gordon Gunn. I'm assuming this was NBC. Was Gray with NBC at the time, maybe?
Yeah,
in 96?
I think he was, yeah.
And they did it on, of course, Mr. Gunn was blind, but he was skiing and doing all kinds of things, and Jim Gray did the story on him and did the sucking up to get the job when the play-by-play opened.
That goes on in professions like this?
I've heard. I don't know anything about that. Jason in Columbus, thank you for the very, very nice note. Much appreciated. Let's go to the phones. Let's go to Cincinnati for Jim. Jim, go ahead. You're on with Jim Ingram.
Yeah, hey Les, I'm down here in Cincinnati, and I've been watching you on and off for the last 20 years. Never called, but I got to tell you, last week I heard the name Mark Ilgenfritz twice in the same show.
Do you remember Mark Ilgenfritz?
Yeah, those are the gods talking. I got to give you a call.
I'll tell you what, I did a commentary last night that, well, maybe not as much as I used to know, but if you named a obscure Browns player, I could pretty much give you an idea, a range of when they played, or at least the beginning, middle, or the end of a decade.
Oh, yeah?
Almost all the way back. There are now 14 guys on this current team that I've never heard of before.
And maybe we'll never hear them
yes,
again.
That's what I said. Should I bother memorizing these guys? Because in a month I may not need them anymore.
Did you say that about Ilgenfritz?
Probably. What else, Jim?
Well, I just wanted to thank you for the 20 years. You know, I grew up in Dayton, and my dad's family's all big Browns fans. But coming down here, you know, it's mostly Bengals and Reds. But I still like to keep in touch with what's happening up north, and you seem to be the most reliable source we have down here. And I I appreciate your wit and your candor, and I don't expect another 20 years from you, but I hope you can at least hang on for a few more.
Very good. Thanks so much. Good to talk to you. Thank you, Jim, in Cincinnati. We believe a first-time caller. All right, tell me what's going on with the pitching staff and the fifth position and the bullpen games and all that stuff.
The mysterious fifth spot in the rotation. I don't think they really know, and I get the sense that they don't want to decide it right now, and they're trying to put it off as long as they can sustain the lead they have. He said yesterday, Francona did, that Clevenger is going to start on Saturday, I believe, in that spot, and then they'll go from there. We want to leave our options open, meaning I guess that either Clevenger or Tomlin will be the guy on the other side of that 5 days. So we'll see. It seems to me that they don't want to give up hope on Tomlin regaining, a little bit of what he had the first half of the season. But boy, he's looked pretty rough the last 6-7 starts actually now.
For those of you who remember WHK that I remembered, I'm wondering if this is the same guy. Let's go to Lance in Lakewood. Lance, go ahead.
I've been on hold for 20 years. I have an answer to the quiz.
You don't know this, but this is very funny.
Is it Buck Harris?
Thank you for the call.
Bye.
216-575-0403 is the number to call. You could email us during the show at les.levine@twcable.com. Amazing tickets. Got some big games. The Tigers coming to town next weekend, and I would expect big crowds there. If you need some tickets, can't get them at the box office, try amazingtickets.com or 216-591-1800. Sokolowski's University, and I mentioned they've been with me every day for 2 years on the radio and then 20 more on TV. I couldn't be more thankful for those guys. The best people, the best place to go for lunch in this town, as the James Beard Foundation would tell you, as they gave them the national award as a classic restaurant in the United States. Only 5 in the country get it each and every year. Cleveland's oldest family-owned and operated restaurant. It's Sokolowski's University. Back in a moment with Jim Ingram. We're brought to you by McDonald's Restaurants of Northeast Ohio, and I'm loving it.
Hi, I'm Al Bubba Baker, and when I'm in town, I never miss More Sports with Les Levine.
Do it again, it's More Sports Channel.
Okay.
Thank you.
You know I was a defensive lineman.
Hi, I'm Bruce Hooley. You know, everybody loves nice stuff, but paying for it, ooh, sometimes it's painful. Well, don't let it be painful anymore. I'm here at Northeast Factory Direct with the owner, Alex Nemeth. Alex, I love your place. Tell everybody what they can find at Northeast Factory Direct.
We have kitchen cabinets, we have hot tubs, we have furniture, we have mattresses, bedroom sets, theater seating, sectionals, recliners, just about anything you can get for inside and outside of your house.
Same name brand merchandise you'll find elsewhere at up to half off retail. How are you saving people so much money?
Well, first thing is we buy everything by the truckload. We don't have a fancy place. Our rent here is about 1/10 of what it would cost in a high rent retail area.
All right, so this has to be a great story how you got started. What is the story?
You know, we started out of my roommate's garage down the street 13 years ago with one high-end dining room set and kind of grown it from there.
The other thing I love about Northeast Factory Direct, the comparison shopping. Let's compare item for item.
Okay, so you can get a 10-piece bedroom set from us with a pillow top mattress for $1,600. That's like buying the mattress at the store and getting a free bedroom set. You can get a 6-person hot tub here with all the bells and whistles that would normally cost you $7,000 for like $3,900. The one thing about us is we don't make enough money on this stuff to deal with problems, so the quality has to be there. For example, our kitchen cabinets, they're solid wood, they're dovetail drawers, full extension glides, soft close, made in the USA, as good as you can get. I mean, the savings is ridiculous. Our cabinets are an absolute home run compared to what you find somewhere else.
It's an amazing place, folks, so don't forget, Northeast Factory Direct, northeastfactorydirect.com. Alex and his guys will absolutely hook you up. Comparison shop if you like, but I know you'll be coming back to Northeast Factory Direct. It's my favorite place to save money. Northeast Factory Direct and northeastfactorydirect.com.
Let's check out this date in Les Levine sports history, Jim. September 8th, 1996, Statewide Network wants to do a show called More Sports in Les Levine. They suggest that he have auditions for the job. He did, and he got the job, even though he didn't think the gig would last more than a year or so. This being Thursday, we go back in this week in review. Let's find out what happened this week. September 6, 1970, Les does radio play-by-play in southern Indiana. Figures out the more names he mentions, the better his audience thinks he is. Like you mentioned more names, high school kids.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
On September 7th, Les announces, 1965, he announces he will not accept a football scholarship at Ohio State. It's the first that Woody Hayes heard of it, asking, who is Les Levine? I stuck to my guns. I did not accept it.
Yeah, well, I don't blame you. And look where you are now.
Marvin wants to know how come they call it a restroom when nobody actually goes there to rest. Dan in Westlake, when was the last time Meg Ryan's yes was used on the show? I would say 20 years ago when the radio station went under. Al says, whatever happened to Bill Needle? As far as I know, Bill, who was on the show quite a bit back in the day, is in Kentucky doing play-by-play for a Division II or III college. So that's it. Let's go to coveted line 7. I have no idea who it is, at least yet. Hello, you're on the air.
What's a great show?
Today?
Always. This is Brian from the control room. How you doing?
Are you a first-time caller? You're the guy to blame that gets Chuck and Rich on all the time that Lice Man Lenny was complaining about.
Every time. Every time. I just wanted to call and say happy 20th. Hope everything's going well. I will see you Monday.
You got it. Brian, you're the best.
Oh, thanks. You too.
Thank you. He's actually not in the control room. He's in Dayton getting ready for a game. Brian is, I keep trying to come in at different hours of the day just to see, like, I'll show up at 10 in the morning, and there's Brian.
Oh, yeah.
I'll show up at midnight, there's Brian.
He has a cot in the back somewhere?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what he's doing, but he's always here. And if you ask him to run through a wall, he will say which one, and he will do it. So that's much appreciated also. All right, the Indians, I think I had a number which I just threw out. I think that with 21 games left, or 23 games left, as they go 12-11, Detroit has to go 19-4 just to tie them.
Yeah, well, if Detroit goes 7-0 against the Indians, then
then it's over.
Yeah, they're in a good spot. One would think, you know, and they kind of teetered a couple times in the last 6 weeks or so, but I think they got it going again. We'll see how they do against Minnesota. You know, this didn't sound like a.
Do you believe in years of destiny or teams of destiny, such things as an inside the park home run to be a walk-off?
No, but not in that phrase. But I will say that we've seen some things this year that tend to happen when a team has a really good year. You know, that other teams, it doesn't happen to them.
Let's go to Tom, who's in Cleveland. Tom, good evening.
Hi, Les and Jim. Hey, do you guys realize that, you know, Jimmy Haslam, he's sponsoring with the Flying Pilot J, he's sponsoring that Tennessee-Virginia Tech game down at the Bristol racetrack?
So what?
Well,
he's not allowed to do that?
Well, they're expecting 150,000 down there at the racetrack in Bristol.
So, okay, so what's the problem with that?
I think Haslam is more favor to Tennessee Vols over the Browns. Come on, Les. You don't. Les, we know you don't know nothing about college football, Les.
No, and I hope you join us for the More Sports and Les Levine postgame show on Saturday.
No, but Les, you know, Haslam is sponsoring this
So what?
game.
Al Lerner, who owned the Cleveland Browns, used to sponsor all kinds of NASCAR events with his companies. What is the problem here, Tom?
Les, Haslam is more favorable for the Tennessee Volunteers football squad.
Because he's sponsoring this game?
I'm sorry?
Because his company is sponsoring the game?
Absolutely, Les. I mean, he even has the Browns callers. You know, his football callers are more like Tennessee than they are the old Browns.
All right, listen, it was great talking to you to ruin my evening here. Thank you.
Thanks.
That wasn't a serious call, was it?
Not to me.
Well, me neither, for that matter. 216-575-0403, except for Tom in Cleveland. Anybody else is expected. Hopefully you can call. Northfield Park, of course, with live racing 4 days a week, Monday to
Hello, everybody, and